Hey guys, today's video is why it's so hard to be involved in a relationship. Even a friendship with someone that has borderline personality disorder is really, really hard, guys. I'm going to try to make this more about BPD, about the mental illness, and less about my own experiences. Um, Anytime I've used my own life, as examples, it's just upset people. So I try to leave my personal stories out of it as much as I can. Um, I guess the first thing you're going to run into is borderline women. They have a constant fear that you're going to either abandon them or leave them. Fear of abandonment is one of the main symptoms of borderline personality disorder. So you'll notice that fears of abandonment really drive their behavior, and it causes a lot of fights. You'll quickly realize that most of your fights have to do with the borderline individual not trusting you. Those are fears of abandonment. The borderline individual accusing you of things that are actually not happening in reality. This could be psychosis. This could be a mental health symptom. Could be delusional. They could literally be delusional of what's going on. Um, they pick fights out of nowhere, and it's really hard on the friend. It's hard on the guy friend. It's hard on the boyfriend. Because we care about these people. We care about them. We love them. We bend over backwards. We give many chances when we shouldn't. We put up with verbal abuse. We put up with physical abuse because we love these people. We don't want to leave our friends. We don't want to leave our girlfriends. But sometimes it just feels like things are hopeless. I know for myself, it's these types of situations have severely affected my mental health. There's been borderline girls that have literally driven me almost to suicide, literally almost to suicide, because it's so hot and cold. With a borderline woman, it's so hot and cold. This can go for borderline men too, because it's the same mental illness, regardless of the sex. But they're so hot and cold with you. Everything can be going wonderful yesterday, and then today, maybe there's a fear of abandonment somehow. They're going to pick a fight and completely ruin what you're working on, or completely ruin the relationship, or completely sabotage the friendship. When you add in antisocial personality disorder, it makes it 10 times worse. Literally, it will be a 10 times worse mental illness. If you're dealing with antisocial borderlines, that's antisocial personality disorder mixed with borderline. They call it a malignant borderline. And then if they're the impulsive type, which I've dated a lot of impulsive borderlines, those are the ones that just call the police out of nowhere. Those are the impulsive borderlines. They don't think about the consequences. They don't think about the fact that they're sabotaging their friendship, sabotaging their relationship. And then they think they can mop it up later. They think they can manipulate the boyfriend, manipulate the friend back into the relationship after they just treated you like shit, after they just said hurtful things to you, after they just pushed you away, 100% pushed you away. Within 2 or 3 days, they call you up crying, begging you to come back. This includes multiple manipulations. This could include sex. This could include a borderline woman trying to reel you back in with sex. This could include them creating a crisis situation where they put themselves in danger in order to get you to come back, because obviously they know that you don't want them to be hurt. That's what they'll often do. They'll put themselves in danger to try to manipulate you to get back in their life, whatever the situation is. So fears of abandonment, they're going to accuse you of running out on them. They're going to accuse you of talking to other people behind their back, which a lot of times is not happening at all. Like, I've been in friendships, I've been in relationships where women have accused me of talking to other women when I have not done any of those things. I've been nothing but loyal. But they'll manufacture fights. They'll manufacture crisis. It gets to the point where guys like me, we honestly think, you know what, fuck it, I'll just be alone. Because we can't win in these fucking relationships. We try so hard to make things work, and it just does not fucking work. it can push you over the edge, guys. It can literally push you over the edge. It could lead to a suicide. It could lead to you getting locked up. It could lead to you getting arrested. These type of people could get you in trouble. They could get you arrested. You could lose your job over it. And antisocial borderline will throw you under the bus. And antisocial borderline will call the police on you for no reason, put orders on you, put restraining orders on you, put no trespassing orders on you for zero reason, just to hurt you, just to be cruel, just to be abusive. They will do this to just be abusive to you. Um, so it's those fears of abandonment, accusing you of running out on them, accusing you of talking to other women, accusing you of talking to other men. There's no stability. That's going to be factor 2, guys. There is absolutely no stability in a borderline relationship. It's an up and down roller coaster. For a couple days, everything's going great. Then when they start feeling that enmeshment trigger, which I've had a past girlfriend tell me, relationships trigger me. What is she saying? She's saying when she starts to feel enmeshed, when she starts to feel that boyfriend, girlfriend, lovey-dovey trigger, she starts pushing the person away. That's because intimacy, romance, and closeness can feel threatening to a borderline. Maybe they've been hurt in all their other past relationships. So when they start feeling super close to a guy, they automatically think this person's going to hurt them in the long run. They automatically assume this person's cheating on them. They say really weird things about you that just to make you upset. An antisocial borderline will literally say things intentionally to get you upset. Like I said, guys, this can drive you to suicide. It can make you suicidal. It can give you suicidal thoughts. Like I said, I've literally almost killed myself over a borderline woman with a plan to do it and everything. I almost literally ended my life over a borderline woman. They'll push you over the edge, guys. They could create a situation where you're in jail because you flipped out on someone. Now you're in jail. They create a crisis situation. You do something you'd never do. Now you're in fucking prison for the rest of your life because your borderline partner pushed you over the edge. Maybe you end up dead because you killed yourself because your borderline girlfriend pushed you over the edge. They can push you to suicide. I'm warning you guys out there. I'm warning all you men out there. They can make you suicidal. They can put you suicidal. They could make you complete a suicide. These women will drive you fucking crazy. That's why it's important for us men to know when enough is enough. Like, for example, with me, with a lot of my past relationships, I have given chances and chances and chances and chances and chances, all to get the same treatment, because without treatment for borderline, the cycles continue, the roller coaster continues. It's a roller coaster, guys. It's up on top of the world with your partner. It's up on top of the world with your partner and then crashing down. Maybe they're putting a restraining order on you. Maybe they're calling you names. Maybe they're putting you down. Maybe they're being verbally or emotionally abusive, which is very happens a lot with women. If you're dating a woman that is antisocial, she's going to be verbally abusive. She's going to be emotionally abusive. So number two's factor is there's no stability. There is no stability in a BPD relationship. It's an up and down roller coaster of push and pull. Number one is those fears of abandonment and constant accusations. Hey, you're talking to Becky, aren't you? Or they'll look over your shoulder at your phone. Hey, you're talking to so-and-so. Maybe you're not even talking to this person. You never spoke to them a day in your life, but they'll convince themselves that you're talking to some female, and then they'll start a huge fight over it. They'll yell at you in front of their children. They'll emotionally abuse you in front of their children. It just gets to the point where us men just say, you know what, this ain't worth it, and then we just can't go back. That's the saddest thing. Like with me, with a lot of the girls that I've dated in the past, I wanted to stay in the relationship. It was always them ending things. It was always them pushing me away. It was always them sabotaging the relationship. When I wanted nothing but being a loving partner, I wanted nothing but to be a good friend to these people. A borderline woman will ghost you. A borderline woman will, in fact, ghost you. You could have the greatest time with these women. They'll ghost you. You could have sex with these women. They might end up ghosting you just because they have that relationship trigger. You're starting to feel like a boyfriend because you had sex with them last night. They'll start putting you in the boyfriend category, which will trigger that enmeshment, and then they'll start pushing you away. Um, it just becomes a nightmare, and it's very emotionally hard for the boyfriend. I don't know how many times I've been depressed, how many times I've been suicidal because my girlfriend was driving me fucking crazy. You start to think that maybe suicide's a good idea. If you're feeling like that, guys, please reach out to a suicide helpline. You could call a suicide helpline like right now. If you're suicidal, you could call a suicide helpline. You could call a friend. Like with my situation. Yes, sometimes I get suicidal thoughts as a result of these relationships can literally make me feel suicidal. But the truth is, guys, I'm not going to actually kill myself because I have a family. Like, for example, I have family that's pretty good to me. My little sister is good to me. She sends me, $100 here and there just to help out. She knows I'm low on money a lot. I work 24 hours at a group home. She knows that I'm low on money, so she'll send me $100 here and there. You know, my mom asked me not to kill myself, so I've kind of made a promise to my family that I wouldn't kill myself. But they can make you suicidal, guys. They can give you those thoughts. You can start thinking, hey, maybe suicide's a good thought. You start thinking maybe I should just fucking drive my vehicle into an 18 wheeler. You start having those thoughts, guys. It's really bad. You start thinking about ending your life because of these situations. That's when you know maybe it's time to cut ties. If you're on the verge of suicide, maybe it's time to cut ties. Um, like for me, I have a lot of coping skills. Like I just took a medication that I'm prescribed. I'm having a bad day today. I just took some medication that I'm prescribed for my anxiety, for my PTSD. I just took some medication. I'm home. I'm not driving. So I'm able to calm myself down. I'm able to call a friend, call a family member, listen to some music. But these type of relationships, like I'm saying to you guys, that's why I'm warning you so greatly, is that you could end up killing yourself over this partner that you have. You could end up killing yourself over this friend that you have. That's why it's important to know when to cut ties. Yes, I think it's a good idea to give mentally ill people a lot of chances, because they have those mental health symptoms. We all knew they were mentally ill. That's why we've given them a lot of chances. But if you're dealing with emotional abuse, if you're dealing with physical abuse, if you're dealing with verbal abuse, the time to cut ties may be now, because a lot of times the chaos won't stop. Like for example, every time I keep going back into a relationship that I have, the chaos continues, the fights continue, the false accusations continue, the accusations continue. When I'm literally not doing anything, guys. You have to constantly leave the situation. You have to constantly go home to your own house. You have to give your borderline partner space, especially if they're antisocial. They're going to be verbally abusive to you. They're going to be emotionally abusive to you. So you have to give these people space. Um, like I said, it just makes you very emotional. You start thinking that killing yourself is a good idea. That's why it's important to use coping skills, guys. Call a friend, call crisis, call a family member to keep yourself safe. You have to constantly give them space. Like I said, you have to constantly leave the apartment. They'll lock you out of the house. I don't know how many times I've been locked out of the house by my borderline girlfriend. I don't know how many times I've been told to not come in the house. We'll have an argument in the vehicle. She'll tell me I can't come in the house. You know, it gets to be really bad. And I'm trying to not use personal stories, guys. But I've dated a lot of borderline girls. I'll say I've probably dated 3 to 5 borderline girls, three to five severely borderline girls. And the reason why I keep dating these individuals is because, according to Lisa LeBlanc, they're into the Phil type, which is protector, helper, integrity, and loving. I'm protective of my friends and family. I'm helping, like I drive people around to help them when they're down and out. That's a helper. Integrity, I try to be a good person. I try to follow the laws of my state. I try to be a good friend. I try to be a good family member. I try to be a good member of society. But sometimes it's just not good enough, guys. Sometimes it's just not good enough. Like I said, you have to constantly leave the apartment. You have to constantly leave your house to give your borderline partner space, especially if they're antisocial. They're very verbally abusive. They're very emotionally abusive. They have zero regard for your feelings. So while they're verbally abusing you, while they're emotionally abusing you, They don't know that it's actually making you suicidal, but they don't care. They have literally zero regard for your feelings. They don't care at all. If they're antisocial, they wouldn't give a shit if you ended your life. The antisocial ones don't care because they're sociopathic. Like I dated a girl 5, 10 years ago. If I had blown my head off, she probably would have fucking laughed about it. That's how sick she was as a person. That's how evil she was as a person. She was so cold hearted, it would have, probably made ice around the room. That's how cold hearted she was. She had antisocial personality disorder with borderline, which made things undoable. These people are very emotionally abusive. These people are very verbally abusive. Really, it just comes down to the point where us men's just say, you know what, fuck everybody. I'll just stay alone. That's what I'm having to do this week. I've had to leave my situation again because the person I was with was accusing me of talking to other women, and I was not. This is all based on a fear of abandonment, guys. I had brought this person's son to a medical appointment. While before she goes in the appointment, she looked at my phone, thought I was talking to someone, which was totally untrue, thought I was messaging somebody, which was totally untrue. This is all based on a fear of abandonment. They think you're going to hook up with somebody else and abandon them. So they'll cause huge fights over things that are not even happening. Then they get verbally abusive. Then they get emotionally abusive. It can lead to suicide, guys. I'm warning you right now, it can lead to suicide. That's why it's important to use your coping skills. Call a friend, call a family member, call crisis, because these type of women, these type of men, the antisocial ones, they can push you over the edge, guys. They'll call the police on you. They'll put restraining orders on you, no trespass orders. They create fights. They create major drama. Like for myself, I've decided I got to stay to myself for a while. As much as I love my friends, as much as I love my ex-girlfriends, I literally, I can't keep doing this. I can't keep getting sucked in. My viewers make fun of me when I get sucked in back into my relationships. They call it getting sucked back in, which is true. The last time I got sucked back in, one of my ex-girlfriends had said she was going to do something dangerous. She said she was going to walk like 6, 7 miles, which she knows I get triggered by that because it's dangerous for her to walk alone. That's how she got me sucked back into the relationship, because she told me she was going to walk like 20 miles and she knows that I don't want her harmed. So they'll use things like sex to manipulate you back into the relationship. They'll use threats of self-harm. Like in this case, she's going to walk when it's self-harming to herself. That's creating anxiety in the boyfriend, which the boyfriend tries to fix it and will end up coming back in the situation to prevent her from getting hurt. They know what they're doing, guys. They're very manipulative, extremely manipulative. They'll do anything to get you back. They'll use sex to get you back. They'll use free rent. They'll use free housing. They'll use money. They'll use anything. Could be anything. But guys, if you like videos like this, you can like, subscribe, and share. You can check out my t-shirt in the comment section. It's just super sad. Like for me, I want things to work with the friend I have, with my ex-girlfriend. I want things to work, but it's not going to work because it's untreated borderline. And with untreated borderline, it's a roller coaster, up and down roller coaster. You're up on top of the world with your girlfriend, and then she'll completely sabotage it. She'll take a baseball bat to the relationship and sabotage the relationship. Then she'll start getting emotionally abusive, verbally abusive, could even be physical abuse. Crash right down. Now the relationship's ruined. Then she'll call you up crying, get you back into the situation, apologize to you, get you back in this situation. So then you're helping her again. You're driving her kids around. You're being the better person. You're being a good boyfriend or a good friend. Then she'll sabotage the relationship again. Now you're down on the bottom again. You're upset. You might be suicidal. Then she'll call you back, manipulate you back into the relationship. Then she'll sabotage it again. Maybe this time it's accusations, things that aren't happening. She's saying you're talking to other women when you're not. Now she's crashed the relationship back down again. Maybe she's put a restraining order on you. Maybe she's putting a no trespass order on you. They know what your triggers are, and they'll push those buttons. Like if they know you don't like police interaction, they'll call the police just to upset you. An antisocial borderline person can be extremely cruel. They're cruel. They get off on hurting you. They get off on making you upset. It actually makes them feel better. It's called sadistic abuse. They're sadistically abusing you and actually gaining pleasure off of abusing you. It's extremely sick. They need help for it. They need to get counseling for it and understand, why am I getting off on hurting people? Why am I getting off on hurting people's feelings? These borderline people will do a lot of shit behind the radar. Like, I just found out one of my ex-girlfriends was talking shit about me to this other girl that I've recently dated. Funny, she didn't have a problem with me. Last time I saw her, we were actually having sex. And then she had some sort of enmeshment trigger and literally ghosted me, guys, for no reason. Ghosted me and my brother. Last time I saw her, we slept together. And then she wants to hit up my new girlfriend and talk shit about me. That's what these borderline women are like. They throw you under the bus. They're not loyal. They're not good friends. They're very selfish. They're very self-centered. They're very cruel to their boyfriend. They're very hurtful to their boyfriend. They're very emotionally abusive. Like this girl that texted my girlfriend, her name was Kate. I don't even care. I'll call her out. She's being a cunt to me doing this. Kate, literally, I was nothing but nice to this bitch. Nothing but nice. Me and my brother would cook her meals. Me and my brother would be nothing but sweet and kind to this woman. Last time I saw her, we literally had sex. And then she ghosted me, guys. Walks out of my apartment, tells me that's exactly what I needed. She had like 3 or 4 orgasms. Tells me as she's walking out the door, that's exactly what I needed. Then ghosts me, guys. It's going on 5 or 6 years that I've seen this bitch, Kate. Found out today that she had texted my ex-girlfriend. These people are cruel. These borderline women are cruel. That's why they often end up victims of situations. They could end up victims of domestic violence. They could end up victims of homicide because they're so cruel to their friends. They're so cruel to their boyfriends and friends. That's why it's important for you boyfriends to use your coping skills. Don't kill anybody because you're the one going to end up dead or in prison. Don't kill yourself. Use your coping skills. Call crisis. Call your mom. Call your dad. Call your brothers. Call your sisters. Call a friend at work. Do anything you got to do to keep yourself safe because these borderline women will push you over the edge. And that's what sucks about being friends with these borderline women. Like when I was with this girl, Kate, she wasn't even my girlfriend. We were just friends. At the end of our relationship, we had sex. But they'll do cruel things like ghost you for literally no reason. You know, you'll treat them like gold. They'll ghost you. One of my old girlfriends ghosted me because my landlord kicked her dogs out. She was sleeping in her vehicle, homeless. Literally hits me up during the wintertime. Hey, Steve, can I come live with you? I'm homeless in my car. This is my ex-girlfriend. Literally out of the kindness of my heart, I let her come stay. My landlord kicks her dogs out, and then she ghosts me. It's going on 5 years that I've talked to this person, and I was nothing but kind to her, nothing but sweet to her, nothing but loving to her, and she ghosts me, guys. You can bend over backwards for these borderline women, and they'll still be cruel to you. They'll still ghost you. They'll still hurt you. They'll still put orders on you for zero reason. This all can happen, guys, as a result of these relationships. You could end up dead because of these women. You could end up dead because of these men. They're very hurtful. They're very cruel. They're very emotionally abusive. Guys, if you want to make a old man's day, you could get a shirt in my comment section. I'm going to post my best-selling shirt that's only $14.99. You could get that, guys, $14.99 for an Amazon shirt. Plus, I think it's like $5.99, $6.99 for shipping. So it's $14.99 plus shipping. That link's going to be in the comment section. But thank you guys for tuning in today. I hope you have a good one and stay safe out there, guys. Bye.